Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Levery King, Mike L. This is Legit Paranormal, brought to you by legitpodcast.com. It is July 16th, 2023, 0716-2023. Oh, brother. Let's do 7 minus 6 times 1 is 1. 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 3 is 1. 1 on both sides for the math geeks. Joining me as always, Buddy Money Thayer. What's up, buddy?
Oh, good evening, Mike. How we doing tonight, dude?
Oh, we're doing good.
Yeah.
We're probably doing too good. Like I'm probably doing 60 and a 25 right now, but we're doing good.
We're doing all right, Mike. We're doing all right. Speaking of doing all right, I got out of work this afternoon at 3:30 and I was headed home, and I had the hindrance for beer. So the city of Providence called me in, Mike. I ended up down in the little neighborhood behind what used to be the living room in Providence. There's this lovely brewery called, ironically enough, it's called Providence Brewing Company. They make this lovely IPA, which is actually something that you might like, Mike. It's called Pimp of the Day. It's only a 5.5 alcohol by volume, but it's more like a Pilsner. It's like got Pilsner malts and Pilsner stuff, and it's and Pilsner sugars and yeast, and they use an IPA hop named Nelson Sovereign, which makes it like an IPA Pilsner. So it's like a beer flavored IPA. So that's my beer tonight, Mike.
It wasn't ironic though. You did it again with that word ironic.
It wasn't. I'm sorry. Did I throw in ironic?
Yeah. Like ironically, it's from Providence.
Well, then it's more that it's just always on my mind for one reason or another. I don't know.
Yeah, that happens though. That happens. Joining us, Sin Shrader,
hey.
Hill, author. How are you, Sin?
Author.
Hey, I'm great. How are you guys?
Lovely.
It's Sunday night. It's a good time. Let's see. The week's about to start. We have Block Island coming up this next weekend, so I'm very excited about that. I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. How are you overall?
I wish I was coming up. Let's just go ahead and say that. Let's just get that out of the way because I wish I was coming up.
Yes.
You know, I've been there once on one of the weekends, and I've got to go out with everybody. And yeah, you're right. You probably do because it's oh man, it's fun to get everybody together and then have them drink and then hear their opinions. That's one of my favorite things to do in life. Now, we have a guest scheduled for the show, but before we get to our guest, let us bring on our last co-host, Joey Paranormal.
Oh.
Nathan?
No.
Nathan?
Check my text. Hold on.
Joey.
Does Joe exist?
Oh, I miss you.
Does Joe exist anymore? Does Joe exist?
Joe does exist. Yeah, he does respond to my texts about ghost hunting and other adventures, but Sundays I don't know. It's a busy day for Joe.
All right, I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna say
Well,
word about Joe right now.
I'll catch up with Joe next weekend, and we'll ascertain whether or not he's gonna para-re-show or para-no-show, and we'll move on from there.
I'm holding my tongue.
I'm hoping for re-show because Joe's a good niche, but
yeah. And it's just a flagship show. It's just the main show on a Sunday night, and it's the only show he does, and he can't make it to it. He just can't seem to make it to it. I don't know.
Buddy Beer. I like that.
So before we announce our guest and bring them on, I actually was the guest on a podcast that I just wrapped up.
That was just her too. That was Shaw.
Oh,
yeah. So shout out to Shaw, and I didn't get to say the last name enough. Wooten. Like, if you have a last name like that, you'd say
Wooten.
Yeah.
You got to say it like that though. Wooten.
Yeah, you have to because it invokes that.
I love her.
No, it was a great conversation. You know what I mean? It's just that I will talk for as long as you want to talk.
No.
No shit.
No.
Yeah, like an hour 45. I think she's checking her watch. You know, it just is what it is. Yeah, you know. But so, all right, our guest we have booked before, and he didn't make it to a show. But then,
Yeah.
Buddy, you said you reached out to him, and we have him rescheduled for tonight. We're in touch with him earlier. And are you letting them know? You let them know that we're Eastern Standard Time.
I did, Mike. I told him we're live right now. I sent them both the links on both of his messenger sites. There is.
And what is his name?
There is zero.
Do the introduction. Just do the introduction.
Okay, so tonight's guest joining us live from, I think he's from the West Virginia area. He's an author. He's authored, like 9-10 books on UFOs, on aliens, on which is kind of the same thing, on Bigfoot, on cryptids, on the Knox, on haunted houses, on ghosts, on Jesus Christ, you name it. This is like the all-around paranormal guy. So this is a perfect show for him to come on. Live joining us from West Virginia, Dave Spinks. Welcome to the show, Dave.
All right.
Dave? No?
Crickets.
So
Crickets.
So Dave Spinks. Is this now the second? Like, here's the thing. How many people no show? We get like 1 out of 10.
We've had about 3 people, but out of those 3 people, 2 of them have actually come on to the show.
We haven't had more than that no show. You sure?
No, and then a guy died. One of the guys died.
That doesn't count.
That's kind of understandable.
Yeah, no, that can't count.
That's usually excusable, usually, but in his case, it is. But now, our tonight's guest did not pass away. Am I correct?
He did not pass away, Mike. He is.
That's good.
Actually, when I signed on to my computer this evening about 20 minutes ago, he had a green little button next to his messenger. I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm just going to send him the link in a minute. And then he was gone, just like that, Mike. Just like a ghost, one would say, or a UFO, or Bigfoot just disappeared into the woods, Mike.
So now,
never existed.
Let me ask you this: why would you no-show our show? Now, I want you to be honest.
Are you afraid of what's going to be asked?
Yeah. Is it how we look?
Are we threatening? I mean, well, there's 3 of us asking questions and 3 of us that like to talk. So, I mean, what could go wrong?
Right.
A lot. It's live, yeah, but nothing.
He's still
fun. Nothing but fun.
So
8 minutes offline now so far.
Let's discuss what Dave does as a career, Buddy. Tell me about his books. Tell me about what he's done. Let's bring
up his Amazon. Hold on, Mike.
Yeah, let's do Dave. Let's do Dave for Dave. Let's explain Dave Spinks.
That's a good show.
As if Buddy Thayer was Dave Spinks. So, Buddy, I'm going to give you a second here.
Is that his real name?
Dave Spinks. Yeah, you've never heard of him?
Is that his real name? Because on those other books, the first book, it's by David Weatherly. So,
dun dun dun.
All right.
Who are we supposed to be speaking with?
Who are we dealing with? Will the real Dave?
I'm gonna flip this here, Mike, for a second. Hold on.
By the way, you ever see these are the Daves I know. These are the Daves I know by God damn it, what was that comedy group? Kids in the Hall.
Oh,
the short guy just starts walking around. He's talking to all the Daves you know. He's like, this is Dave my barber, and this is Dave something. They all come from different moms. These are the Daves I know. You never seen that video? These are the Daves I know.
I haven't seen that one. No.
Oh,
no.
I was a huge kid.
I need to look it up.
So, all right, Buddy. So David Spinks deals in a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
All right.
He's an author. He's a paranormal investigator by trade, I guess you could say.
That's a hot Bigfoot. So
this is
from here,
West Virginia Bigfoot. We're gonna go into it. Yeah, he's very big. He's got big. Why is the man boob area of the Bigfoot?
That's what I'm saying. That's a man. That's a male.
He's got whole body here, except on his forehead and his man boobs. Scary. That would be my first question to Dave Spinks.
Yeah, he is. She's right, and Shai is right. He's ripped. Like, that's my point. Like, that's a very is it called a Harlequin? Right? Those novels. Yeah. That's a very Harlequin-esque photo of Bigfoot right there. Like, he's coming out of he's coming out of the woods with some attitude. He's coming out like, check out the pecs, check out the face. Look at my knuckles. Look at my knuckles.
Yeah, right. Look at them fingers, dude.
And look at the wingspan. My God, he could dunk. Like seriously, that's
totally.
That's a
his
long
hands
ass
go down to his knees, dude. That's pretty. Those are
All
pretty big arms.
So, buddy, wild, wonderful West Virginia, the only state entirely within the area commonly defined as Appalachia. Its rolling hills and deep valleys are still rugged and untamed, with abundant and natural resources, wildlife, and apparently something more. For decades, natives of the state have told stories or tales of yahoos, boogers, and blue devils. Stop right there. What do you mean? For decades, natives of the state have told stories of or tales of yahoos, boogers, and blue devils.
We're a couple of yahoos, Mike.
You really think that the state talks about yahoos, boogers, and blue devils?
Shit, isn't like that your region, West Virginia?
That's a little bit more east.
Okay.
A little bit more east.
All right, so do you know about yahoos, boogers, or blue devils?
I have heard of all three, but I could not tell you what they are, except maybe the booger. That could be anything. Boogeyman, monster. That's just another word for that, as far as I know. But hey,
it means
what
snot.
do I know?
You know, it means snot. I don't know what anyone else is talking about right now, but that's what a booger is.
Shaw doesn't want to see it either. Yeah, I get it.
Well, why would you?
I don't either.
Who wants to see a booger? All right, a yahoo. Isn't that supposed to be like a dopey guy? Like, why would we be scared of the town dopey guy? I don't.
Or a drink, chocolate drink.
Yeah, Yahoo. Or Yahoo Serious was a guy from Australia. I can go on forever, but and then Blue Devils, I think a Duke. All right, anyways, here uncovered at last are true accounts of the West Virginia Bigfoot. Now, see, I know this. You guys don't know this. The difference between the West Virginia Bigfoot and other Bigfoots has to do with core strength. See, the West Virginia Bigfoot, as you can see in the photo above, does a lot of Pilates. They do a lot of stretching. They stretch. It's important to stretch. Anyways, they do a lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups, a lot of crunches, buddy. They do a lot of those, the burpees.
Yeah. Oh, I hate burpees, dude.
No, it's not the worst. It's not the worst.
They fucking suck.
There's no part of it that's enjoyable.
None except finishing. That's
yeah.
Yes.
Once you're finished.
Absolutely horrible.
Yes, and they sound like Slurpees, which makes me feel worse about myself when I do them. Yeah, that's how I think they get to you mentally. They make you think fat, and then you think about it and you work harder. Like a Slurpee burpee, I got to get rid of it. Now, what else does he have other than this really hot picture of Bigfoot?
All right, for this book or for other books, Mike?
Well, I mean, I don't want to see more photos of this book. If he's got more photos of Bigfoot in his book,
I'm going to go back. Here we go. The next one is Willow's Weep. This is a true haunting story, Mike.
Well, how do we know?
Well, this is what I've been told.
William Shatner. No. I see the word William. I see two words, and I see William Shatner. Now, I'm not going to. Oh, boy. Buddy, you're going to have to read this one.
All right.
You want to read this one? Who wants to read this one?
May I?
All right, do it good.
May I?
Starts off with William Shatner.
All right. William Shatner describes Willow's Weep as one of the most haunted locations in North America. Featured on the series The Unexplained, we learn about the transfer of ownership of this house of horrors from previous owner Brenda Johnson to Dave Spinks himself.
Oh, he bought the house.
Of course he bought the house. Dave is now the trusted caretaker and owner of this portal to hell. Buddy.
I bought a. Did I tell you this? Me and the wife, we bought a beach house. Did I tell you this?
No.
Down there against it. Yeah. It's a portal to hell. Yeah.
Sounds.
You want to come down, hang out, have some beers? It's a portal to hell. You want to come down and have some beers?
Hell.
Do you want to come? Who the frig describes their own property as a portal to hell? I digress. Go ahead, continue.
All right. You will find on the pages of this book the true accounts of what author and paranormal investigator, ironically enough, Dave Spinks, described.
Wait a minute. Doesn't he own the house?
He does. Nothing short of pure evil. murders,
Evil.
suicides, overdose deaths, disappearances, and demons are just a few of the stories that will make your blood run cold as the stories unfold on the pages. He's a poet and he didn't even know it.
No, I mean, you know what, dude, listen to me. Not
That's
only
great.
is he listen, wait. Not only is he a trusted caretaker and owner of the portal to hell, but on this book you will read true accounts of pure evil. And by pure evil, Dave means murders, suicides, and 3 words, by the way, guys: overdose deaths, disappearances, and demons. He seems like he gets stuck on the D's at the end.
He did. He liked the D's a little bit too much.
He went murder, suicide. He went D, dose, deaths, disappearances, demons, and a few stories that will make your blood turn cold. Wow. All right.
Wow.
Let's go, buddy.
Okay. This 30-year seasoned paranormal investigator has spine-tingling experiences with the demons that call Willow's Weep home. The real-life occurrences featured throughout the pages of this book are from multiple paranormal investigators, contributors, interview with the previous owner that will allow you to see that there is in fact a doorway to hell, and it may very well be located in Cayuga, Indiana, at Willow's Weep, published independently by Starborn Illumination Publishing Company.
Sin, very good
Yes.
job, buddy.
Thank you.
Go back to that, buddy. No, go back to the reading, because I want to ask Sin a question. After everything he just told us about how haunted it was, and it was the doorway to hell, and it at the very end, would you have written will allow you to see that there is in fact a doorway to hell, and it may very well be located in Indiana? Like, he's already told us there's a doorway to hell.
Right.
By the end, he's saying it might be, here where I own the house.
Maybe it should have been this one is located in.
Or just stick to it and say the portal to hell is in Indiana, in the house that I bought, that I wrote the book about.
Right.
Which is it's just a little weird that, like, you buy the house, you read the book, then you write the book about it. But he did get William Shatner to describe it.
That's pretty big.
Now, does that mean that William Shatner just featured it on his series, The Unexplained? Like briefly? Is that what he's saying? It was on the TV show?
I think it was one of the pieces. There's usually like 2 or 3 pieces that Willie Shatner does.
Have you ever watched that William Shatner show?
A few times. He's a great actor.
He's a great actor, but have you ever seen The Unexplained William Shatner?
I have.
Yeah.
It's just another paranormal show, Mike.
No, I get it, but it's got William Shatner. Now, Dave, what do you think about owning the portal to hell? All right, what would you say? What would your reason be for wanting to own the portal to hell? Sin, let me ask you this: would you ever own?
No.
I'm not finished.
No.
The portal.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I do not want it. No.
What if you could write a book about it?
What if I could write a book about it?
Yeah.
I could write a book about it, but I don't want to visit it. No, thanks.
Buddy, what about you? Would you own the portal to hell?
I thought that would be a great sign to hang on the bathroom door after I vacate the bathroom. Portal to hell. Other than that, no, I would not want anything to do with something so holy hell is haunted as where I could just open a door and hell and demons and negativity and awfulness can shower me with negative attention. No, I'm all set.
Do you think it's got one of those doors that when you open it, you hear all this gnashing and screaming? Ah!
That'd be weird.
And you have to close the door.
Imagine how much money you could make on that kind of phenomena. They would put the Conjuring house out of business.
If I open the portal to hell, I would hear mortgage, electric bill, T-Mobile. Yeah. You gotta call T-Mobile. Talk to T-Mobile again. Like, I am the psychotic that will call and just yell at the automated system. Speak to a representative. Speak to a representative. because
Over and over.
I can't deal with that shit. No thanks, buddy. What else is he? That's a very spooky looking house.
Did he pick out the curtains at Willow's Weep? Is what I want to know. But anyway,
you know what? At the portal of hell, I don't look. This guy, so far we get a sexy Bigfoot and a portal to hell. What's next?
The next one, Mike, is Real West Virginia Hauntings, Volume 1, paperback.
Okay.
Real ones.
Stin, you're up on this.
Yes.
Hold on, I'll zoom in for you. Hold on.
Oh, buddy, you can zoom in now with the computer?
A little bit, Mike.
Are you ready, Sin?
Oh, am I reading this?
Yes, you are.
Oh, great. West Virginia, beating heart of the Appalachians, rugged, pristine mountains, legendary woods rife with rivers and wildlife. But there's more.
More than just the rugged, pristine mountains?
Dark hollows deep in the woods hold secrets.
Oh, Jesus.
Tales of ghosts and specters, legends of bizarre deaths,
And here's my favorite line.
and whispers of wayward wandering spirits.
Stop. Have you noticed?
Whisper.
Have you noticed
Word.
when he gets stuck on a letter? He gets stuck on a letter.
He is the king of alliteration.
Yeah. You know what? By the way, saying ghost inspectors is just like saying, I don't know, red and red.
Hey! I just heard from Dave. He's coming on.
We're good because we're roasting him. It's been a roast so far. So
Am I
help me
finishing?
know. I mean, we haven't
Am I
been
finished?
meeting. Okay, I'm sorry. I finished. My bad.
In the first volume of his new series, Dave Spinks digs deep into a host of dark tales that abound in his native state. Dim the lights, sit a spell, and settle in for some real
S's.
Virginia hauntings.
Did you see the S's? Sit a spell and
Yep.
settle.
Yep.
Wandering whispers of wandering. Whispers of wayward wandering spirits and sit a spell and settle.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to see if I can get Dave to do some tongue twisters.
Do it.
I bet he nails them.
Probably.
Yeah. Shaw, that would be. That's a good question to ask. I don't know if I'm gonna ask it, but
That was Shaw.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I say Shaw. I'm gonna mispronounce people's names just because of my accent. Like I can't see SHA and not say Shaw. It's Shaw. I get that, but you know,
Shaw.
I'm from Rhode Island. I say Shaw. So, buddy, let me ask you this.
Please do.
Are you going to be the one to apologize for being so mean to Dave so far?
No, we don't have to say anything, Mike. We're just
No. I think you should. I think you have been.
Mike, I think you.
No, I mean, me and Sin were to agree right now. I think we would say that you have been pretty critical of him, and I want to make sure that you apologize when he comes on because you said some weird thing, man. I'm just, whatever. Yeah. Forget about it. All right. I get that. I'll take that. I don't mind that. So listen. So obviously he's in the Virginia area, and he's around rugged mountains. Can we agree that the mountains are rugged so far in the books?
Yep.
I've been in that country, and they are quite rugged.
Legendary. Yes.
All right. I understand what can make somebody legendary or make a location legendary, but tell me what makes it rugged. Like as somebody who's from not where the mountains are, what makes a mountain rugged? Is it like seriously, is it like how difficult it is to all right, let me bring this out and bring in our guest. Buddy, do the intro quick. You got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, buddy, go. Buddy, I'm
Joining us live from Jesus. Okay. Joining us live from I think West Virginia.
Yeah.
Yes. He's an author, about 9 books, I think, probably more. I'm probably forgetting 1 or 2. Paranormal investigator, UFO, cryptids, Bigfoot, ghosts. Welcome to the show. Dave Spinks, without further ado.
All right. Okay.
Hey guys, sorry about that. I couldn't get that link to work.
That's all right. What we did, I'll tell you in the meantime was We just had fun with the sexy Bigfoot was the first picture we saw. Buddy was just showing us photos of the
Big
folks,
beefy one. Yeah.
and we were trying to figure out what exercise workout that first Bigfoot did. That's really the only question we had on that. It was weird. He just kept showing us the photo, and then the next photo was of the one that I was interested in. Now you bought the house that you wrote the book about, right?
Yeah, the Willow's Weep house. Yeah, back in 2017, I bought that house actually.
All right. You referred to it as the portal of hell. My question would be, why would you want to own the portal to hell?
Well, I'll just tell you, I don't refer to it as that, but many other people feel that there is a portal to other dimensions, other realms there. And I lean that way now after having owned the house for so many years now, and some of the things I've experienced and felt in that house. The way it's built, there's nothing else like it out there. First of all, it's built in the shape of a cross. There are buildings and churches that are built in the shapes of crosses out there, but not that many. But this was weird. I mean, this was built in the middle of a tiny town in Indiana, tiny little town, in 1890, built in the shape of a cross. It once had 4 entrances and exits into the building itself. It's full of Masonic symbology. Over every one of those 4 original doors, there's a triangle built into the structure over the door, all pointing to the center of the middle of the cross. And directly under the floor in the middle of the cross, there's a fire pit that has ashes in it, as if someone was doing some kind of magic or something under the house in the crawl space, which is very bizarre because when you crawl under there, I'm a pretty big guy and I can barely fit under there. You have to shimmy down in and then low belly crawl to get in there. And I'm like, who in the heck will be lighting fires under this house? But somebody did, because there's still ashes in there to this day. Now, someone may have built the house over top of that many, many years ago, but it looked fairly, I wouldn't say fresh, but it wasn't that long ago it was done. And it's almost as if the house was built to either funnel energy into it or funnel energy in and out of it. It's just weird the way it's built, and it's full of Masonic symbology. Like I said, every doorway has the pillars of Solomon on it, on the trim, and it's turned a certain way so non-Mason members wouldn't even recognize it. But I had a 32nd degree Mason show me and fill me in on all that and what it was representing. It's just, there's so much to this house. It's crazy.
So,
but it was a house. It was not a lodge or a church.
Yeah, people have lived in it since that time, and there's many bizarre deaths in it as well, and normal deaths as well too. But it's just even before I owned it, that's how I found out about it. Through the paranormal grapevine. Oh, there's this house, you got to go check it out. It's crazy, blah blah blah. So I went there. Like the first time I was there was in 2013, I believe. Investigated it, went back several more times, ran the whole gambit of paranormal evidence from EVPs to disembodied voices, unexplained tapping, running, knocking, spirit, shadow figures, the whole 9, strange balls of light, strange light anomalies. The first time I was ever there, I was standing in the center of what the cross would be, and something hit under the floor so hard it actually physically lifted me up, and I felt at the exact same time a super ice cold breeze went from the floor up right through me, and it was the most bizarre feeling ever. Many people have been attacked there even before I owned it, and this and that, and that's why I was called there basically by the former owner, and then we became friends. And then out of the blue one day, she called me and said, look, I got to get rid of this place. It's coming over to our house next door and it's affecting us. It's almost killed me and my husband twice. We want out of here. And they ended up selling everything and moving like 30 some miles away when I bought it. And I said, well, doing what I do, what better place would it be that I'd have my own paranormal lab? I can control the environment. I know what's going on in there. I don't have to worry about, somebody doing fake stuff in there because I control it, and because some of these places, let's face it, they've been caught faking sounds in the walls and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, but basically I had my own paranormal lab, and I, there's no electric to the house.
But Dave, check me out. My first question
Yeah.
is, why would you buy it, right? Like, and I'm just speaking as
Well, it's a
regular person.
no-brainer, man.
Well,
no-brainer.
it is, but it is. No, but it is, but it isn't. I'll tell you why. Because you're saying, in describing it, you're saying that it's like a lab that you can control and you can control it. When, in my opinion, you can't control it. So
It's to document. You know, I bought it to have my own paranormal lab. That's what I do, to document paranormal evidence and to show people, hey, this stuff is real. It's all around us, and that was the whole purpose behind it. You know,
No, I'm with that.
Basically, that's it in a nutshell.
No, I'm with that, but my theory is like, because from what I've read about it, it's pretty scary, and
yeah, it is.
Like, there's a good chance that you're letting out, or that you're letting the chance of evil be there just as much as good. So my thing is,
well, it's already there.
That's the thing. Of hell, I'd say close it. Like that's
I
my
wouldn't
reaction.
go that
Portal
far.
hell, close it.
Well, yeah, that's understandable, and that's why I have, you know, it's been shut down since before COVID. I have not let anyone in there to investigate it. I don't want people getting attacked in there, and let's face it, I've lost tens of thousands of dollars out of my own pocket that I could have let groups pay to go in there. And a lot of people have accused me, oh, you're just doing it for a money grab. Well, if I was doing it for a money grab, it would still be open to this day, folks. So that's just not the case. I know it's dangerous. I don't want people getting hurt. I don't want people getting attachments. And that's why I've closed it down since before even COVID started. So I did what I was doing there, and I'm still doing stuff there myself, along with trusted people that are friends of mine. But it's very rare now. And at the end of this thing, it's going to be torn down and the whole land blessed and cleared and everything. So, and it takes a lot of money to do that too. So, you know, I'm coming out of pocket. You know, it was an opportunity I took. I realized the dangers of it at some point, being in there so many times, and having a good friend of mine was attacked, and they ended up having to cut off part of his foot from it. He had a weird scratch up here, and they cut off a part of his toe and his foot, and he's still having problems like 3 years later. So when 4 years later, actually. So when that happened, that was it. I shut it down. It hasn't been open for anyone else to go in there. And I trust me, I get emails every day of people begging me to go into this place. I'll pay you $1,000. No, sorry, dude. No, not going to be on my conscience. So, you know, it's just not worth it at some point, as far as putting people in danger.
So wait a minute, Sin. So Sin, let me ask you this. Two things. One, like, how would you handle a house like this? And two, Dave almost sounds like the beginning of like every Marvel supervillain story. Like they start off with a good intention, and they're dealing like Dr. Doom. He's dealing with kind of like a witchcraft. Like he knows what I'm talking about comic books. And the next thing he knows, it, you know, I can control it. And then pretty soon, Dave's like Thanos. You know what I mean? Like that could happen. But anyways, what would you do if you owned the house? Sin is what I'm really trying to ask. Open up the public, close it down, shut it down. What would you do immediately?
If I had it, I mean, I would make sure that I had people around me that knew how to deal with that particular location. So, and I'm sure that's what he does. And I mean, you couldn't just let anybody in there because they might try even conjuring.
Of course it will. Of course it will.
Yeah. And I mean, this
happened
whole world
before.
has got stuff that's popped through. We don't need any more.
Buddy, what would you do if you owned the portal of hell?
Oh my God. I have talked about this with other investigators for years. I would absolutely control the environment as much as I could. I would set up as many recorders, as many cameras as I could, use certain lighting in certain areas, use no lighting in other areas. I would do what Dave is doing. I would make it my lab, dude. I would investigate to my heart's desire. I would try every scenario, every situation I possibly could. And then if it was clear and it was cool, then sure, maybe I'd open it to the public and sell tickets. But oh my, dude, this is the dream.
What if Joey lost a foot?
Joey's a trooper and has been through some really.
Oh, you don't care about Joey at all.
I put Joey in some tight spaces many times, and he's always come back for more. So,
imagine I say, what if Joey loses a foot and he tells me that Joey's a trooper? So Dave, owning this house, of course, it's got to be nothing but not nothing but I'm looking at it like outside perspective. It's a money drain. Just run it and keep it open while you're doing everything you're doing with no income coming back in for it. So
yeah, that's not. I mean, I own it. There's no bills. There's no electric to it. The only thing there is taxes. So it is what it is. It's just a property I own now that I do some investigations at, and I'm currently writing. So when I set out to do this, I wanted to tell the house a story and all the history behind it, and what's happened to people. And in the first book, I let a lot of people contribute what they experienced when they were there and what paranormal evidence they gathered while they were there. And it's continuing on in the second book, because this is stuff that's already happened, mind you. It takes a while to write a book. You just can't, So, and then, at the end, it's going to be the end of the weep. It's the end of the weep saga. It's going down. I mean, and I will have it blessed by multiple clergies from different backgrounds, to include shamans, Catholic priests, Baptist minister, the whole 9 yard, metaphysical folks, and do what we can do to hopefully shut that doorway down, that is possibly there, and to give it good juju once again. It's a beautiful piece of property, but something at some time, even the natives that are in that area, there was many wars fought there. A lot of people died there. The neighbors find pottery and arrowheads in their gardens when they dig them, and there's 2 rivers that come in there, and under the whole town, there's a huge aquifer. So that, we know water is a huge conduit for paranormal activity. So, it just feeds this thing, and all the blood that was shed in that house and everything else, people dying in there, and the bad energy that was there. And there's stuff that we heard tell of that we can't back up with factual evidence, that other people died in there as well, that we cannot, because the court records burned up mysteriously one time, and in the old courthouse. So there's no, there's no records of who lived there and who all died there. But the neighbors would tell a story. Oh, this one lady, she moved in there. She had a weird nickname, and she was suspected of being a black widow. And she had 3 of her husbands had all died, and she would collect insurance and move to the next town and marry the next guy. And then her little daughter came up missing, and then her older teenage son hung himself in the house too. But we can't find any records of that because there's nothing there on it. But this woman
I'm
was.
going to be honest, Dave. The idea of a woman marrying 3 guys and killing them and moving on and taking their money, I can't believe that. So it's really hard for me to believe. I was looking for the portal of.
Hey,
but that I don't believe.
Wouldn't be the first time it happened. So, but anyway, that's some of the stories that go along with the weep. Now, it's hearsay, but these old neighbors. She was 90 something when Brenda bought the house. A former owner told her all this stuff, and then she has since passed away then, but I did get to meet her, and she shared the story with me as well, right around that first time I investigated. But there was a child's arm bone found under the house. So so there's so many different things that go along with the weep. It's we could spend 2 or 3 shows talking about it, literally.
What leads it, though, I think that got all of our attention is it built on past Native American ground? That's what we're saying.
I would definitely say so. There's, like I said, there's arrowheads of pottery. I think it was a sacred hunting ground area. There are mounds, Native American mounds in the area. A lot of them were flattened by the farmers because it's surrounded by nothing but cornfields. Man, let me tell you, it's straight up Children of the Corn movie looking in that little town. And because you'll drive for miles and you won't see anything but corn, and you come into this, you turn into the road there, and then there's this town. So it's just weird, and there's talk of witchcraft and everything else.
Can you get rid of the energy, though, from Native American land? It feels like, because, dude, from doing this for so long, it seems like that's just like the worst property to own, because it's just got so much.
But it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's a lot of these places have Native American ties, and the best thing to do, I've found, I know I don't look it, but I have a little bit of Native American. My great grandma was full-blooded Cherokee, and you have to bring a shaman in, and you have to offer offerings of tobacco and all kinds of things, and the sacred smoke and everything else. But that doesn't mean it won't affect other people. You know what I'm saying? So if they come with the wrong energy, those, natives protect their sacred land with spirits and elementals and different things. It just depends what kind of person you are, I think, in a lot of aspects. But, each place is different. You never know what you're going to get with these things. Like the Weep is no different. I've been there many times and there's not much going on. Other times it goes off the chain. For what reason, we don't know. I mean, that's the same with any paranormal location. It could be you got a new person there with you, has a different part of energy, different type of energy, and boom, it goes off the chain that time for whatever reason. And numerous people have been attacked in that house. I've never been, which really surprised me because I came in kind of with a hard stance and said, look, I'm the new owner of this house and and this is how it's going to be. And I never had really any attacks. Now, I've been touched and stuff and grabbed a couple of times, like something pulled my shirt one time and that weird blast of cold air. Many threats on the ghost boxes and on EVPs, kill you effer and stuff like that, but no physical scratching or anything like that went on with me. Now, many other people have had some crazy, horrendous stuff happen to them in there. So, I don't know, how do you, I don't know, it's the paranormal,
Right.
Other places I've been over my 30 plus years of doing this, I have been scratched and I've had some crazy stuff happen to me. So, on several occasions, but, I thought for sure, I'm going to get attacked in this house. I came in kind of with a take no crap attitude. And I said, look, I'm the new owner now. This is how it's going to be, but still didn't stop other people from being attacked. So, and the house was blessed numerous times before I ever owned it. I had it blessed a few times while I owned it. Still didn't slow it down very much at all. It's still people were still attacked and things still happen. So, it's one of those places, and they call it, people have called it the most evil place they've ever investigated. And it's one of those places, man. I've seen some crazy stuff happen in that house and recorded stuff too. You guys can see it right on my YouTube. There's a shadow figure that was captured in broad daylight. That was phenomenal. With unexplained noises and dragging sounds and everything else.
So, Buddy, question to you. Go ahead.
Oh my God. So the house, so you have it set up the way you like it. How have you modified?
Actually, I've left it as original as I could, buddy.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty much the same as it was when I bought it. At first I put all these cameras in there and stuff, and people were messing with them, and I've come to the house and people have broke the windows in it and all kinds of stuff, just a-holes, just people are just hateful, nasty people, man. I came there one time, somebody drew a pentagram on the sidewalk, upside down pentagram. So you've got your bad elements going in there trying to conjure more stuff in there as well. And it's just it's really a nightmare to own a location. It really is, because people do not respect you. They don't respect the location and they don't respect the spirits. They don't. They think they pay their money, they can go and do whatever they want. You'll come in, and you'll find 50 beer cans laying, and stuff like that. It's just disrespectful, and I'm happy I shut it down for many reasons. So.
Sin,
and then I've gotten cussed out by investigators. You don't have no right to shut that down. I said, yeah, I do. It's my place. I bought it. I own it.
Right.
Yeah.
I would just say I own it. Yeah, I own it. So stop saying that.
As far as the Native American stuff, do you think that's the most of the problem, or do you think it could have been some kind of rituals that were done there?
Well, that's a good question, because we don't know. I mean, for the most part, we know Native American people are peace-loving people. Most tribes are. Now, when someone or something violates their sacred lands or their beliefs, then there might be some issues going on there. I think there was dark magic practice there. It was built for a specific reason, and we all know that natives know where the high energy places are anyway. They just go to them. I mean, they know. So that, like I said, it has two rivers flowing into it. There's a huge aquifer under the ground there. There was many battles fought in that area by the French and native tribes there, and lots of people on both sides died. So you got that bad energy, because their land, sacred lands, were being invaded by the French, and so on. And all these generations later, the Americans and everybody else. So there's probably some PO'd elementals and spirits there from that. Then you have people doing nefarious things like certain Masons that delve into certain things and other things like that. So, and then you have just straight up dark magic witches and other things that I know were in that house because we found a pamphlet buried in the house. The former owner did, between the original floor and the new laminate floor that was put in the house, and it was by an organization that was masquerading as the Church of God, but it had a pamphlet put out that told you how to summon demons and necromancy and everything else. And on the very front of it, yeah, right on the very cover of the pamphlet, it's an upside down pentagram on fire, and it says, "Is the spirit world real?" Well, when you flip through this pamphlet, it talks about how to summon demons. So any Christian organization I know doesn't put out pamphlets like that. It's
I've never heard of summoning a demon from a pamphlet. No.
Exactly.
No,
and it tells you how to do it right in there. So I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't right. And I've got the original book she found, and I did some research. It was put out by this particular sect of the Church of God in the 80s. It's still available today. You can find it online sometimes. And it's basically what I could find out and dig up. It was basically a cult masquerading as a Christian organization. So it's pretty nefarious stuff, when you look at it from that aspect. And why would they bury it between the new floor and the old floor anyway? They're trying to hide something, it doesn't make sense. And that goes along with some of the missing records of people who probably rented the place back in those days, 80s, 90s, who knows, 70s, 80s, 90s, who knows. So
yeah, but you don't.
There's so much unknown about the weed still.
No. Yeah, why would it be underneath the laminate? That's so weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because she had, when they bought the place for her son to start his life, they bought a cheap house for him to fix a fixer-upper. And the son of the last guy that lived there took him to the house. Well, he wouldn't go in, and Brenda couldn't figure out why. So when he went in there, and they went in there and looked at it and everything, when they came out, he told him, "Yeah, my dad killed himself in this house, and he was the last person that lived in there." And when they started doing renovations, that's when they found that pamphlet. The new floor was kind of hooved up for moisture, so they had to scrape all that out, and there was that pamphlet hidden under in the corner of the room. And pools would turn on by themselves, fly across the room. All kind of things happen.
Wow.
And that's when they found the false ceiling that was over where they found those triangular structures built into the structure over all four doors. There was a false ceiling, and they were covering up those triangular structures. Well, we all know the triangle is a Masonic symbol as well. And they were pointing right over the doors, weird. And then her son was attacked in there. She said a 2x4 just flew through the air and hit him right in the head one time. Tools would turn on and shoot across the floor and all kind of crazy stuff. And then when she started reaching out for help through paranormal teams, the first team she had in there, when they were doing their investigation, she was attacked so violently that she said it felt like something punched her in the gut. And then she got scratched across her back so bad she was bleeding. And then when she had to go to the doctor, and it had bruised her spleen and liver or something where it hit her in the gut so hard.
Oh, wow.
So, it just carrying on. And it got to the point her son never lived in that house. Nobody ever lived in it since she bought it. And she was letting teams go in there trying to figure out how to get rid of this stuff or whatever. Jeez. And that's how I heard about it and got there and did my thing. And then ended up over some years, becoming the owner of it.
So Buddy, it sounds like these teams just stirred up the pot for like a couple years, right?
Yeah.
But I can't get over why you would want to buy it. Like I'm
Check on the first question.
I know why you three would. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just such a pain in the arse. It's just nothing but you gotta worry about people desecrating it. You got to worry about people trying to just mess with it. You got to pay for the taxes itself. You got to keep up the property. And then it's buddy, I mean, seriously, like if you had the ability to go to a house like this, how lightly would you tread? How would you handle it? Like as far as like, because I'm afraid you'd go in there and just start asking questions and try to stir it up like the past owners. And you tell me though.
If I was an investigator, Mike, with all this I've heard, I wouldn't go in there and say much. I would honestly, I'd go somewhere, I'd walk around the house, see what I felt, whatever had the strongest feeling. I would just sit in that room and I would observe for a while, and I would
And
just
listen.
Just
Yeah.
listen. Yeah. There's been enough talking that's been done, it seems. I would just go in and just listen and see what I can.
See
Well,
where I
it depends.
I wouldn't go in.
I mean, as an investigator, and you're trying to show people or document these things, it's an opportunity to have your own place that you can control the environment, so to speak, right? Where there's, there's no horseplay going on where people are hiding speakers in the walls and doing weird stuff like that, trying to present false evidence. So, after having been to countless locations like this over my 30 years of doing this, I had an opportunity to own my own location. So I jumped on it and ran with it. And it turned into be good in some ways, but very bad in other ways. So, it's a lesson learned. Chalk it up as, wow, okay. Would I do it all over again? Maybe, maybe not. It just depends. Each location's different, So, and I took on a lot of heat from the old family, saying, accusing me of trying to make money off their family's deaths, which is a total farce. They did the same thing to the former owner. And they said, well, their whole excuse was, well, we don't want our grandkids to know that their grandpa killed themselves, which I could totally understand that. So I was nice enough. And it's all public information. I didn't even put their people's names in the book, that I wrote. I kept the names out of it. But here, in retrospect, they went all over the news and told the whole story. So what's that tell you? That tells you they're just mad because people did what they're doing, like me, and they're telling the story of the house. They're telling the tragic deaths that occurred. I tried to reach an olive branch out, say, hey, I wanted to put a plaque, to your dad and your stepdad and your mom in the house, and they pretty much told me F you to my face. So I'm like, okay, well, I tried, I'm done with you now.
So basically, as long as you're running this house, and it's not like you're trying to profit off their names, right? All you're trying to do is represent the history and explain the history of the location. I don't see where their issue is. If here's the issue,
that and share the paranormal evidence that many people other than myself have caught in that place. It's to show people, hey,
if their history is if their history happens to be part of the history in that house, that's not really your fault. If you're telling the story of the past people that live there, it's not your fault if they live there, their family, and weird things.
No, and it's public information. Anybody can look it up. So, I was trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
Right. No, I'm just telling it, this Joe Blow, he shot himself. The last guy to live in the house, he shot himself in the house. They say it's because he found out he had cancer and he didn't have money for medication. That very well may be true. But we also know there's many other crazy deaths in that house. And there's a lot of other deaths in that house. And there was tons of paranormal activity reported before it was ever known to be a haunted house by the people who lived there. So, it's one of those places that you're telling the story, and you're raising the question, what is going on here? What is causing this paranormal activity? Is it one event, or is it many events, or is it an open doorway like we're talking about, a portal to another dimension, to another world, whatever the case may be? So, that's what I do. I'm sharing the history of the place. I'm letting people make their own conclusions. Look, that's what I do. This is where I was, this is what I was doing, and this is what I got. Make up your own minds. I'm not here to push you either way. I'm just telling you, as a respectable person, people know my reputation. I don't need to fake anything, never have, never will. I've turned down my own show because of that numerous times. I could have been a really rich dude if I would have sold out, and I refused to sell out. And the fact of the matter is that I'm just telling the story of this house. It's one of those weird, high strangeness spots. It's crazy. Many people, excluding myself and including myself, have had crazy experiences in that house. Even before I owned it, before I ever investigated, there was hundreds of investigators in that house. So, don't just take my word for it. Look, I mean, look out there. There's tons of stuff on there and people talking about it and have been talking about it.
So
and I took a lot of flack, and I'm still taking flack for shutting it down to the public.
So the flack that he's getting, right? Now that it's being presented from like the owner's perspective, which we've had a couple times on the show.
Yeah.
Where do you think the fairness lies? In other words, like
it's his property.
Exactly.
It is his property to do with what he pleases.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like you don't have to agree with it.
No questions. No, there's no question.
Buddy.
Right, and I can kind of agree with you there because it's an organization that we have investigated for about almost a decade now, and we are the sole paranormal group that's allowed to investigate there. Multiple other teams have asked, they say no, and people look at me like I'm an asshole. I'm not an asshole. We just like have this respect thing with these people, and that's who they trust.
It's their property. They have the final say so. That's the bottom line. You know, right. It'd be like someone telling you at your own house that you bought and paid for that you can't do something at, or you're not allowed to do that. Are you kidding me? Get the hell out of here. You know, it's at my discretion if I want to let people in there or not.
And the thing is, you have to keep up like some sort of a like you just said, you can't rent it out to everybody and have like it become.
Well, I was leaving it open to any group that wanted to come for a couple of years, you know, and it just got to the point where it became a nightmare, you know.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, any business owner will tell you that, like the public is a nightmare. Like you open it up to them, just everything bad. Like it's not like a lot of good's gonna come flowing in. Unfortunately, it's just gonna be a lot of bad.
Well, it was to let people say, hey, it's not just me saying this. It's I want other people's perspective and what they feel and what they get when they're there. You know, because we put a lot of their accounts in the book because we're telling the story of this place. It's not just one person. It's multiple people over years have had crazy experiences in there. So when there's that many people having crazy experiences, it's not a coincidence. It's not a random thing. It's happening right now, right there as we speak. So, that was the whole point of it. It was to have control of a location that was legit. There's no power in the building. So any EMF hits you get are legit, everything. There's no false positives and the whole 9 yards.
Nice word, by the way.
Yeah, I like to use the word legit. You plugged it in there nicely twice. I appreciate that. Because we're running late on time, Buddy, let's start with Sin. Sin, what would you like to do to wrap up? Say, ask.
What is the one place that you have been that you hated the most?
Ooh.
Investigation.
Hated as far as.
Yeah, it just.
I don't know. I don't.
Was
as far as like
too dramatic? Too many headaches, too many.
Well, not really, because I love all places. I love historical places. I love haunted places. I mean, I know some places are a little very strict on certain aspects of filming and whatnot. I think they need to lighten up some of that. But if they, some of these places, they charge exuberant amounts of money to do that. And it's got to the point where, just weekend warrior type folks that love to do this on the side because they're a paranormal enthusiast, they can't afford to do it. And I think that's a shame. It's a shame. But it's like we go right back to it. It's their location. They can do whatever they want. And I think they do that too to keep some of the riffraff out that, and whatnot. But because there is a lot of riffraff out there in the paranormal community, so to speak, that don't care what the rules are. They're going to break them. They're going to conjure things. They're going to do satanic conjuring stuff and everything else. And that's unfortunate, but it happens. And I know other location owners as well that have had the same type of situation go on where people come in, disrespect the rules, disrespect the house, the spirits, whatever, and they just don't care. And that's unfortunate. But you'll have that in all aspects.
Yeah, I was just going to say, but somewhat common. Yeah, you're right.
I guess it comes with the territory.
Buddy, what would you like to say or ask to wrap up?
Before I wrap up, Dave, it's been a pleasure. Tune in. If you ever want to do like show some of the stuff you got, we got a clip show on Thursday nights live at 8:05 this week. We have on Neil Farley. He's a medium. He's a paranormal investigator. He'll be on to share with us some of his better clips and his evidence or data of paranormal stuff. Next Sunday, live at 7:05. Anne Marie Manala, she's an author, she's a paranormal investigator. She'll be on talking to us about all this fun stuff again. My question to you, Dave, we didn't really touch upon it, but you have a lot of books on the topic. And a couple years ago, we were at the same Virginia ECBRO Bigfoot convention in Fort Defiance. Is Bigfoot indeed alive and well and living in West Virginia?
Well, I would say yes. I mean, there's a lot of reports ongoing. I get reports monthly, if not sometimes weekly. And, you know, these are from credible people, law enforcement officers, school teachers, doctors, lawyers, whoever, that have really something to lose by coming out and sharing their story in the public. They definitely saw something. What they saw, we don't know, because we don't know what a Bigfoot is at this point. We know some people feel it's a living, breathing creature. Some feel it's an elemental type creature. Some feel it's an ET, even, because many stories have seen, you know, over the years, many people have seen strange lights in the sky and seen a Bigfoot, or vice versa. So I just tell it like it is. I'm not going to claim to know what Bigfoot is, because I don't. People that say they know without a doubt it's this, they're full of crap. Show me the proof. You know, show me the proof. I know what I saw when I was a kid, which is what started me in this. When I was 13, I saw a Bigfoot with my papaw right down from behind me, about 5 miles from here. You know, and it changed my life. And it would terrify me, but it also made me very curious as to what the heck it was we saw, and I wanted to know more. And that's really where I started my journey, reading about it and looking into it. And then I had a couple of ghost experiences, if you will, haunting experiences with my other grandfather when he died. And I've talked about that numerous times, and they're in my book. The stories are in my books too. You know, I do this because I love it. It's I call it a hobby gone insane, really. And it fascinates me because it's three of man's greatest unanswered questions, really, to a point. Are we alone in the universe? Are there unknown creatures walking among us? And what happens to us when we die? You know, and that's really why I do what I do. If I can find one little piece of that puzzle, it makes it all worthwhile. And the journey getting there is a blast. You know, and documenting some of the things you experience over those years is fascinating to me. And I still get excited when I get a really good EVP, and I know, or in fact, I'm the only living person in the place, and I got a response to my question. That fascinates me. How does that even happen? You know, so right. It's really cool in my view, in my opinion, and it can be scary at times. And there's stuff out there that can reach out and touch you in a way you don't like. Trust me. I did have an attachment from a case one time, and I don't ever want another one. So it does get nuts.
An attachment does not sound good whatsoever. That's something I would avoid. Dave, well, where could people read more or other stuff like that for you, like websites?
You can get all my books on Amazon. Go to my website, www.davespinks.paranormalinvestigator.com. You can see all the shows I've been on and upcoming appearances, which I have a ton this year. I had like 25 or 30 conferences this year and events I'm appearing at, and more coming. We are closing our store, World of Weird, the hard store, and taking it mobile. We got a 20-foot trailer so we can bring it to the people. So gonna do a little mini World of Weird on wheels until we decide what we're gonna do due to building problems, floor collapsing and different stuff like that in our old building. So our landlord didn't want to fix nothing, so we're out of there. So it's unfortunate, but we'll still be bringing the World of Weird on wheels to you here and there around the country.
Nice.
World of Weird on wheels.
I like it.
A lot of W's.
Yeah, I would.
I
I couldn't do it repeatedly. Couldn't say it repeatedly because I would eventually get it wrong.
Yeah, it was a tongue twister. I struggled there for a minute. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I'll keep doing this as long as I'm physically able, and I love it, and I got many more books in the works. I'll have Real West Virginia Hauntings Volume 2 will be out this year, and a couple of other ones probably by the end of the year. So my newest book is West Virginia Dogman. It's out there now.
The West Virginia Dogman.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Sin.
And look for Willow's Weep Part 2. It's coming soon.
See, a Willow's Weep is what we used to call those big trees, which were
Weeping Willows.
Weeping Willow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Willow. Yeah, but all right. But I know it's a Weeping Willow. But I'm trying to tell you what we used to call it was the Willow's Weep. That at my elementary school we had one that was gigantic. I mean, like when I say wide, like ridiculously wide of a tree. Like it's been there forever. It was. That thing's still there. Actually, no, you know what?
I apologize. I couldn't get on earlier. I was having link problems and stuff, and finally figured it out.
That's okay. I'll be honest. I was making fun, not making fun of, but I was very attracted to the Bigfoot picture. When I first saw it,
I'll get it for you. I'll bring it
Oh,
up.
on the book.
No, don't zoom in. Don't zoom in. You ruined it. I was just saying, like that's a very attractive Bigfoot. Like that guy right there is coming out like, hey. You know what I mean? Look.
Yeah, I have a new Bigfoot book in the works. It's called The Monongahela Monster too. That'll be out next year.
Dude, are they? Let me ask you this: Are they as aggressive as I think that they would be? Like, in other words, and I'm not saying this to be like a joke, but to me, it's funny.
Well, I mean,
He's very aggressive, right? The male, very.
My experience, it was very aggressive, and it seemed like it was aggravated that we were in that particular spot that particular day because we caught all those fish, and I don't know if it was being territorial or what, but it scared the living daylights out of me. You can imagine as a 13-year-old boy, and you see something like that. And it's throwing big rocks this big around at you and screaming and tearing down the woods is pretty terrifying. But yeah, I mean, it felt very aggressive and very territorial that day. And I've interviewed other people that have had big sticks. Like when I say big stick, I mean probably that big around chunk of wood thrown at them from something, around here in West Virginia. Whether it's being territorial. Now, no one's ever been like physically attacked that I've interviewed or investigated, but there's a theory out there by David Pilates that Bigfoot is actually grabbing people, and taking them. So, who knows? I mean, what's going on here? Yeah, that's David Weatherly's book there, and I'm a contributor in that book. And there's a lot of big name crypto guys and contributed in that series. That's volume 2 of a series. It's a really good series too. It's called Wood Knocks, and that's volume 2. So I'm a contributor in that volume. That's why it comes up when you do my name on there.
That is not an attractive Bigfoot at all. that doesn't even come close to the look. Look at it. It's not even as handsome. Give me a break. No. The first Bigfoot was like Harlequin-esque. This Bigfoot is like science fiction. No,
hey,
whoever drew it, I don't know if they were going for sexiness, but I gotta wrap it up past our time. I want to thank Dave Spinks for being so. Let's wrap it like this.
Yeah, let me know when you want me on again. I'll make sure we get on time and everything. It was a cluster today, and I apologize for that.
Let's agree to blame it on Buddy. So, 4, Dave Spinks. 4, Sin Shrader Hill, author. 4, Buddy Money Thayer is me, Mike Leper King, Mike Elders was legit. Paranormal brought to you by Legit. Podcast.com. We will see you tomorrow night with, oh boy, what is tomorrow night? Legit Fear Flicks. It's 8, and then isn't it the Compass of Curiosity? With Russ Stivers.
You liked how I got that legit in there too, didn't you? See?
Yeah, you did it twice.